The KwaZulu-Natal government is appealing for calm amid growing threats to shut down parts of the province through violent protests. Police have continued to monitor hotspots across the province. This is former President Jacob Zuma's constitutional court hearing for the rescission of his 15-month sentence approaches on Monday. Now, for more on this, let us bring in our reporter Ayanda Mhlongo, who's monitoring developments just outside various places in KwaZulu-Natal. I think, Ayanda, it's only appropriate for me to welcome you and ask you, where exactly are you stationed? And what is transpiring on your end as we speak, just given everything that has happened since this morning?
Yeah, very good afternoon to you, Liz, and good afternoon to the viewers at home. Well, at the moment we are on the N3, and this is the off-ramp towards Escourt, where we have now moved on. Of course, earlier on this morning we were reporting live from inside the Escourt town, and so we've moved around now just to check what the situation is along the N3. We did hear reports from community members where we were earlier on, where they were blockading the R103, which runs through the small town of Escourt, that the intention of the protesters was now to come through and blockade the N3. Of course, we are further up the road for where my colleague Jade Liposa has been reporting since early this morning at the Moy River Toll Plaza. It seems to be pretty quiet so far, except I must say, and I'm just going to ask my colleague Rain Bella just to show our viewers the freeway. It is quiet in terms of the traffic that we usually see along the N3. There is also quite a strong deployment of law enforcement officers that are here along this route. You see behind us there members of the South African Police Service, as well as the RTI, the Road Traffic Inspectorate. They have been redirecting traffic and cautioning motorists not to take certain routes. What we've seen and observed from where we are is that trucks are being allowed to continue down on the N3. However, the other vehicles, smaller vehicles, are being diverted, and the police officials are not allowing them on to the N3. Of course, major disruptions since this morning in and around Escourt, in fact from Moy River, but the situation is calming down at the moment. I must say, Lisa, when we were just left Escourt town, which had major disruptions earlier on this morning, with protesters saying that they're going to intensify their protests until former President Jacob Zuma is released from prison. They are vowing that it's going to be a rather long day and another night of protests, and what we've seen is them moving strategically from one point to another. They were protesting and it blockaded the town this morning, both entrances, whether you were coming from Ladysmith or if you were actually using this route to enter Escourt. Now, Escourt, of course, is very important in this development, Alizo, because that is where the prison, the Estcourt Correctional Center, is where former President Jacob Zuma is currently behind bars, and this is day 3 since he was remanded into custody. Let me just quickly give our viewers another view on this side. If my colleague Ray can just show our viewers there, just in the distance there, you can possibly see a truck stop with a number of trucks that are parked there, and as we've come down on the N3, just inspecting what is happening along this route, there are at least 2 other truck stops that we went by. There's a large number of trucks that are actually parked at these truck stops. So of course we know that these truck stops are there for the truck drivers to be able to take a break, to refuel, to also get food, because there are shops as well. But also I think why there's such a large number of trucks is because of safety reasons, that the owners of these trucking companies have possibly also then requested that their drivers just park and hang 10 until they're sure that the situation is now safe for them to move forward. While we were in Escourt, we were speaking to a truck driver, and he told us that they now have a WhatsApp line where they're talking amongst themselves as truck drivers and those just to warn each other if they approach a situation where there are protesters. But they are really, really worried, more so about the damage to the trucks, but also more so they're worried about their jobs. The truck driver that we spoke to off camera was telling us that he's uncertain what is happened with regards to their jobs following this destruction of properties. There are already companies that are saying that if the situation continues, they're going to have to ground their trucks, which means that the truck drivers who earn per trip are not going to be able to get jobs. So a concerning situation from the truck drivers, but also local community. These protests have affected the local economies, particularly here in Escourt, and I do understand in areas like Moy River where there was looting as well. In Escourt, with the main roads leading into the town having closed off, it prevented some of the businesses from opening this morning. One of the community members that we also chatted to earlier on was saying that she was due to go get her COVID-19 vaccination today, and unfortunately the vaccination sites have been closed because of this developing situation. But Liesl, a lot of people on the ground are supporting what is happening. They are saying that although some are not supporters of the ANC or supporters of the former president, but they say if the only way in which to bring about stability and peace in the province of KwaZulu-Natal is to release former President Jacob Zuma, then that is what the authorities must consider. They're calling on the government to come out to areas like Escourt.
Obviously, our reporters are stationed across various parts of KZN monitoring the KZN shutdown.